Imagine the wealthiest men in America secretly planning to remove the president, not with an election, not with debate, but with a military coup. This is not a theory. This is documented, and it almost worked. This is the story of the business plot, the time in 1933 when America's most powerful bankers and businessmen allegedly tried to overthrow the government of the United States. Welcome to Time Travelers Anonymous, where we uncover the stories they would rather bury. Let us go back to the year 1933. The Great Depression is ravaging the country. Banks have collapsed. Unemployment is exploding. People are hungry, angry, and desperate. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt has just taken office. He promises a new deal, bold reforms, public works programs, and a clampdown on corporate power. He wants to tax the rich. He wants to help the poor, and the elites are furious. Behind closed doors, a group of America's wealthiest and most influential men begin to talk. They include Wall Street brokers, top executives, and corporate lobbyists. Many are tied to the DuPont family, J.P. Morgan interests, and other major banks. They fear Roosevelt will destroy capitalism. They compare him to a dictator, and they decide to act. But here is the twist. They do not plan to assassinate Roosevelt. They want to replace him. Their idea is to recruit a respected military leader, march on Washington, D.C., and force Roosevelt to step aside. They would keep him as a figurehead. But real power? That would go to a new Secretary of General Affairs, a puppet controlled by the financial elite. And who did they want to lead this military coup? Major General Smedley Butler. Butler was no ordinary soldier. He was one of the most decorated Marines in American history. He had served in multiple wars, and he was beloved by veterans and working-class citizens alike. They thought he could rally an army, maybe even take the White House. So they approached him. Secret meetings, carefully worded offers. They even claimed they had millions of dollars ready to fund the operation. They would arm up to 500,000 veterans under Butler's command, but they made one mistake. They thought Butler would betray his country. They were wrong. Instead, Butler listened, gathered evidence, and went straight to Congress. In November 1934, Smedley Butler testified under oath before the McCormack-Dickstein Committee, a congressional investigation into un-American activities. He named names. He described the plan in detail. He exposed the coup attempt on the record. The committee confirmed parts of his testimony and found the plot to be credible. But no one was ever prosecuted. The report was quietly buried, and the media dismissed it as exaggeration. But documents would later show Butler was telling the truth. So why did no one go to jail? Because the men behind the plot were untouchable, too wealthy, too powerful, too connected, and the government feared that exposing them fully might destabilize the nation even further. So the story was forgotten. Until now, who were the men involved? While many names were never confirmed, allegations swirled around powerful figures like Grayson M.P. Murphy, a director at J.P. Morgan, members of the DuPont Industrial Empire, Al Smith, former governor of New York, and leaders of the American Liberty League, a political group that opposed Roosevelt. The plot was real. The threat was real. And if not for one man, it might have succeeded. Smedley Butler did not want power. He wanted to protect democracy. He exposed the plot, and then he disappeared from public life. So what do we learn from this? That even in the land of the free, power can corrupt completely, that democracy is always one bad deal away from collapse, and that sometimes the true patriots are the ones who say no. Thank you for watching Time Travelers Anonymous. Subscribe for more forgotten history, buried scandals, and stories that should have changed everything. Because in this timeline, the people with money do not always lose